spinning. Okay, we are live. Happy
Yes, we are.
Wednesday.
Yes, happy Wednesday.
Yes, the second Wednesday of the 2022nd year.
Yeah, well, this message that we're going to be talking about and discussing, it's timeless.
Yes.
So whether they're listening to this and watching this in 2022
Mm-hmm.
or 2032 or 2042, it's a principle. And it will stay the same always because principles never change, right, daughter?
That's correct. They remain. Everything changes except for principle. And we're talking about L-E, not A-L. Principle.
Yes.
Principle. The principle of the matter. P-L-E. All right. So today is Wednesday. It is Wednesday. What's today's date? 112. 112. What a players 12.
January 12th.
You know about that? No.
No more who?
112 where the players dwell.
No.
You don't know about that?
No.
Okay. All right. So
it was a group called 112.
Right. And that was one of their lyrics, 112, where the players 12. That was actually Biggie's lyric. Anyway. All right. It's January 12th, 2022. You are tuned in, tapped into transitions, life, lessons, and legacy. I am Hyacinth Henderson, and I am joined by my father, the one and only
Robert Henderson Jr. Yes, I'm here, bright eye and bushy tail.
Yes.
I'm ready for you guys. Are you ready?
We're ready. I'm ready. We're ready.
Drop something so they can pick up.
They are going to pick up what we put down. I am confident that is the move around town. Picking up what we put down. So for those of you who are rejoining us, you are loyal Henderson Financial Group transitions watchers, listeners, connectors. Hey y'all, thank you. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. For those of you who may be new to this and not quite true to this, we are the Henderson Financial Group. We run a full service financial planning and investment advisory firm. We've been doing this for 30 years. Well, he has over 30 years. He founded the firm. He founded the firm. I have been with the firm. This is my 20th year, I believe, maybe my 21st, 20 years or so. And so, full service financial planning and investment advisory. We're based out of South Florida, sunny South Florida. However, we have clients all over the world. And on Wednesdays, we call this transitions, where we get to kind of kick back, have some conversations and things that are not strictly finance related. And I say not strictly finance related because everything you do is related to your money. How you do one thing is how you do everything. However, we talk about a variety of things. And so you want to introduce yourself, tell people what you do?
Yes, I'm Robert Henderson Jr. I'm a certified financial planner. I'm a certified tax coach. I'm also a real estate broker, an insurance advisor, a stockbroker, life insurance advisor. Yeah, yes. I'm all that. And author. Yes. Yeah. Happy to be here. I like these conversations with my daughter. She's been with me for over 20 years. I'm so very proud of her. And she is growing. I see her growth. I've seen it grow over the years. That's something to be able to watch your daughter and your children grow over the years and evolve, and she really has. So very proud of my daughter Hyacinth. She is all that, registered stockbroker and investment advisor, and matter of fact, she's an insurance broker and the managing director of the firm, and she's actually helping leading us into the 21st century with a whole lot of technology. This year we're going to be talking to you all more, coming in your face with little 2-minute, 3-minute tidbits. And we're going to have special guests because we want to give you a whole lot more value. Because at the Henderson Financial Group, we like to give you more value than we take and pay.
Yes.
We really do. So we believe that. We believe in enriching you before we enrich ourselves. So you have to come first. And that's what the Henderson Financial Group is all about. And this transition, I love doing this on Wednesdays because really, it gives me a chance to talk to you all. I mean, on Saturdays, we talk more about specifics in terms of financial planning, investments, insurance, retirement planning. On Wednesday, my daughter and I, we call it transitions because even though it's not specifically about money, but it is part of the components, the ingredients that help you to become more prosperous and more balanced. And that's why we like it. And a lot of the topics I come up with, like today, the power of repetition. Why is repetition so important? And I was thinking, Heisty, when I was driving here, and I talked to you, I said, let's talk about the power of repetition. Mm-hmm. Because, if I was king, mm-hmm. I would, in terms of education, mm-hmm. As I reflect back when I was growing up in my education, it was just so dull and they're still serving that same food in terms of what I mean by food metaphorically, the same
Mhm.
information, the
Mhm.
same way of thinking. It's so plastic.
Mhm.
Most people, especially people of color, it don't have any flavor to it because we can't relate. We're doing it, but we're not really doing it just to get a good grade and get to college and get a job. But it really negates our true what we are capable of being.
Mhm.
It's not an education that is put out to each and every one of us to create and explore so we can be all we can be. It's not that. It basically tells us what to think,
not how
but
to
not
think.
how to think,
Right.
you know? And I'm more how to think because even at 63, I'm still learning, taking classes, taking courses, and I'm doing it because I'm eager and I want more. So
you were the king of the world because you are king.
Yes, but I was king of the entire world
Mm-hmm.
and I had it my way.
Yes.
I would say everyone need to take a semester, at least a semester,
Mm-hmm.
on demonstrating
Mm-hmm.
and engulf and understanding the secret power of repetition. How it
Okay.
could help you or it could hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
And we are practicing repetition whether we're conscious of it or not.
I agree.
Most people who are down and out
Mm-hmm.
and not prosperous, that's because they are practicing repetition the wrong way. They're practicing things have become habit that is not helping them get to where they want
Well,
to.
they're repeating actions and behaviors that are leading them further away from their goals and their ultimate desires and their higher self, as opposed to repeating those actions, behaviors that are leading them towards their higher selves and towards their goals and their thoughts. And I like that you brought that to the table today. You said that regardless of if you recognize it or not, we are all engaging in repetition. Did you say that?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I didn't know if I just
thought you just made that
it
up.
kind of sound you said a lot of words and I was just like, oh, is this what he
So you thought you just made that up?
I didn't say that. I know I know I didn't say it exactly how you said it. So we can see you. I can see you too, but it's all right. Oh, it's all right. It's all good. So that's something really to think about. Like, what am I repeating? And if you want to know what you're repeating, look at your results.
Yes.
Look at the results of your life, and that'll give you some insight. You can actually reverse engineer this thing, right? So Mr. Henderson is talking about the power of repetition, and you might be like, this is a foreign concept to me, or I'm not really sure what I'm repeating. Hey, start with your life. Where are you now? Where are you right now? And then allow yourself to make the assessment to say, I am here, I am experiencing that because of some habits, some thoughts, some actions that I am repeating.
Right.
Absolutely.
And most people are not really conscious on it because time is going by so fast and you're just moving robotically. You just subconsciously, you're just moving, and you're not really paying that much of attention. You think you woke, but you're really not. You're just going through the same cycles you've been going through.
Right. People don't realize they're plugged into the matrix.
No, they don't.
Before I forget, before we get too deep in it, because I see Miss Redhead, Meg Knight, Anna Dupree, thank y'all so much for being here. Want to give you ladies a quick shout out. You ladies always show up. It seems like you're showing up for us, but you're really showing up for yourself. Yes. So thank you for showing up for yourself so that you can better your life on your journey here. All right, so let's get back into
so let's talk about. I like to walk it through because, like you say, sometimes words get in the way.
Yes,
and I like the meaning. You know, when you embark on something, because first of all, everybody who is doing something that is worthwhile, and they're very good at it. They didn't become good at. I don't care if it's cooking. I don't care if it's riding a bicycle. I don't care what it is. Even what we do. Everyone who is good and really good at doing something, they've gotten that way through repetition, because you can never just do it one time. I mean, a musician, Stevie Wonder, he done it a lot of times. You know, he really had if you look at any entertainer or any athlete, if you look at the people that's in the Olympics, they're doing them flips and the skiers, and they've done it a lot of times. You can't even imagine how many times, but most of us don't understand that whole science, that concept. And really it is a science. And it has a lot to do with your commitment and your desire and repetition. You have to have those.
So let's talk about, so we know what repetition is, and the people who are successful, or wherever you are in life, we know that. So let's dissect this. Like let's give them some working stuff. Let's give our audience something to think about. Like, okay, I got it. You guys have shined the light. I wasn't thinking about the power of repetition before. Now I am. I get it. What do I do? Like, it's hard. It is hard to, and hard doesn't mean impossible, but it can be hard or challenging to say, you know what, instead of repeating this behavior, I'm going to start repeating that behavior.
First
for
of all,
a
let's
different
talk
result.
about, when you say it's hard,
Mm-hmm.
let's talk about why is it hard? Because usually,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to, it's really hard to lift a car up on top of a roof.
Okay.
That's hard.
Right. If you don't have the proper tools.
Right. To put your car on top of the roof,
Mhm.
it's hard.
Mhm.
It's really hard if you're 5'9" like I am to grow to 7 feet tall.
You think you're 5'9"?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's my viewpoint.
I know.
It's my life.
You are.
Okay, let's go.
I'm trying. Just keep talking.
It's really hard to grow to 7 feet tall. You want to take a sip? Oh, Hyacinth, we on that. Should we turn off and come back? You need to regroup yourself. Okay. As I was saying, she thinks I'm 5'8.5" or 5'8". My driver's license say 5'9". Okay, and it just cracks her up because we really are the same height. But when she puts on her heels, she's like a half an inch taller than me, and she's so proud of that. Her brother, Robert III, he's 5'9". She's 5'9". I'm 5'9".
So you're just the same height as your kids. That's what you.
No. Paris. My other brother. He's probably 5'10" or 5'11". He's probably 5'11".
But with me and Bobby, you 5'9".
Next time he comes down, you're gonna stand up, take off your shoes, and we're gonna see. Okay. Well,
okay.
The white people put it on my driver's
No, you told them what to put.
No, I didn't. You had to stand next. You had to stand.
You talking about back when you was Junebug?
You think I shrunk?
No, you're talking about back when you was Junebug.
You keep driving like get it against the wall.
How old were you when that happened?
Okay. You are digressing.
No, I just want to know, was that within the last 5 years? The answer is no, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you think I shrunk?
I'm just asking. You didn't answer the question. You cannot answer a question with the question.
You made me forget without my thought. You know that we lied because you want to be a half an inch taller.
You said,
okay, let me make this.
It's hard
for
you to grow from 5'9" to 7 feet.
Right. I'm just saying it's hard. Okay, it's hard for me to grow from 5 feet to 7 feet. All right, can we move on? It's hard to grow from 5 feet to 7 feet. That's hard. It's hard to put you lift a car and put it on top of the roof. My point is, those are hard. But when you say it's hard, the only reason why I'm thinking about that, because I want to find out, I want to get to the point of who is stopping you.
Well, if you go back, I said hard doesn't mean impossible.
I know, but I still want to. That still sounds like words to me. Let's talk about why are things hard.
Oh, we
are the boss. We're the king and the queen.
Yeah. I think things are hard to see how bad you want it.
Oh well.
Like, are you going to get creative? Are you going to, because you can put a car on top of the roof. If I go outside.
No, but I'm talking about, to lift it up with your own hands.
Okay.
I'm going to the extreme. I'm not talking about getting
a
lift.
Right, because I was going to say you get creative, and that's what things in life as well. You're like, oh my gosh, how can I change my habits? Mr. Henderson is giving me all these great examples of these people who have great habits and they're successful, but I'm 50 and I'm 40, and that's hard. And so when I say that, when we use the car example or things like that, it's like, well, yes, if you just try to do it based on what you have, if I just go outside and try to lift up a car with my hands, of course.
That really is hard.
Absolutely.
Okay. And become 5 feet tall to go to 7 feet tall. That is really hard to do.
Yeah.
If you're black like me and tomorrow you want to be pure white, that's hard to do.
But it's not impossible.
Michael Jackson tried it, but they still, Ku Klux Klan would have still lynched him.
Right.
Okay?
But the point for our audience is to understand that difficult does not mean impossible. It's hard to do.
No, we're on the same page. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to say the things that are basically impossible for me to go out and lift by myself my car up on top of my roof.
Well, it's impossible in that stage of thinking.
Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? What I'm trying
Mhm.
to.
Okay,
I'm
let
trying
me
to
disagree with
decipher.
you. Let me be yes.
I'm trying to say some things
Mhm.
we cannot help. We don't have the control. And I'm trying to say there are limits than what we can do. Like, I can't make you do what I want you to do. I can't, but I can make myself do what I want to do because I have all of the control. It's all me. It's not an outside. I need you to agree. I need somebody else to agree. All I have to do, if I agree with where I'm saying I'm going, I'm doing, it happens. In other words, if I want to walk,
Mhm.
I have to agree to say left foot, then right foot, and move. I have to do that. I don't have to say, listen, but if I say I'm paralyzed, but I want to walk,
Mhm.
I'm trying, but that's different. When it comes to when we say something is hard, I want to examine that. Let's really demonstrate what really is hard, because saying it's hard when you have 100% control.
Mhm.
You don't need any outside influence.
Mhm.
That's different kind of hard than if you have 100% control. You are the king, you're the queen. If I say I want to stand up, I don't have to say, oh, man, I hope Heisey let me stand up. I hope somebody help me. Oh man, I hope my legs. I can just stand up
Mhm.
because I am in full control. So when you say something really hard, it's not really hard. We are out of control and we have not taken our power and taken our own control, things that we can control.
I agree.
So when you say something really hard, it really isn't. It's whether you're going to decide to do it, because we do what we want to do. You agree?
Absolutely.
Okay, now we back.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now we back. So I don't think it's. I think that.
However, you we have to resonate with the audience, because a lot of people do wake up, or if they decide that they're going to do something different, the word is hard comes to mind. And so that's why I wanted to put that word on the table.
Okay, but that's why I say if I was king, if I was king of the planet,
Mm-hmm.
I would have in part of the curriculum in education.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to learn the ABCs and that kind of stuff, and learn your numbers and multiplication, everyone will be required to demonstrate the powers of repetition.
Yes.
From not knowing something to doing something over and over and over and over and over and over to be getting really good.
Do you have to be motivated to engage in repetition?
You say, do you have to be motivated?
Do you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because unless you are demanded to do it, unless you are in other words, your mother could tell you to wash the dishes,
Mm-hmm.
and you can continue to do it over and over and over and over and over. And that doesn't mean you have to be good at it, because you can still leave them half dirty.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time when you're doing something over and over, and you got to be checked and it's got to be right, and you do it over and over and over and over, it becomes second nature to you, and you just know how to do it.
Okay, good. So let me ask you the question in a different way. If you had to pick one, would you pick motivation or would you pick repetition?
What do you mean by had to pick one?
If you had to pick, just pick one. Which one you want? Motivation or repetition?
Well,
you want the power.
I think repetition is far more powerful than motivation.
I agree. Good job.
I passed the test.
Yes, you did.
Well,
on live World Wide Web, the WWW, you passed.
Well, I just want you to know I had you.
Is that right?
You came from
you changed
me.
my Pampers.
I changed your Pampers. I can't. I just want you to know.
No, but and I wanted to bring that to the table. I want to share that with the audience, because a lot of times people will think that they got to be motivated. We'll listen to all these motivational speeches. We'll go to all these seminars. We'll do all this, and you can listen to all the motivation in the world until you move from listening to being motivated to actually taking action, and not only action, but repeated action.
Just do it.
Repeat it. That's where that repetition comes in. So it's like, okay, you know what? I went to a motivational speaking and I was fired up. I listened to this YouTube. I was fired up. I had my coffee. I was going, and I got in my car and I was like, yes. And I got to my desk and I went on Facebook. And I started searching all the stuff that they said in the motivational speech this morning, right? On YouTube. I didn't listen to it. So when you think about that, you have to ask yourself, is motivation as important as repetition? I believe that action and repetition are far more important than motivation, because if you take action and you take repeated action, then you will start to see progress, and that will in turn turn into your motivation to keep going.
Yes, because I agree 100%. Because a lot of people that are doing things wrong, they're not motivated to do things wrong. They just have a bad habit of doing something.
Absolutely.
And they have a bad habit of smoking, a bad habit of drinking. They're not like, oh man, I want to hurry up and smoke.
And you ask them, why are you doing this?
And then they say it's a habit,
right?
And then they said it's an addiction.
Yes. Yeah,
that's because if they did it one time and you ask them, why did you do that? They couldn't say it's an addiction because they've done it so many times. They say it's a habit and it's an addiction. So repetition is so powerful. But I'm sure that most of us and what we're talking about have never thought about it and dissected to ask the why question. Why do I feel like this? Why aren't I doing better?
Now that's the question of the hour. The why question.
Yeah, because you want to get to the root of it. Why do I keep on dating the same guys? Why do I keep on just not getting it? Why? But you have to. So when you say something hard, that's why I want to know who's making it hard. When you say me, myself, and I, as soon as I figured out, as soon as I came to the realization that regardless of my skin color, regardless of my economic status when I was growing up, as soon as I came to the realization is that it was me, me, myself, and I can say either yes or say no. And that was very empowering to me. Therefore, I didn't need no one else to go along with what I wanted to do. I could do it alone because I wanted to do it. I didn't have nobody who was a stockbroker when I was coming up. I had no mentors. I didn't even see somebody who was a stockbroker. I hadn't met nobody. Real estate, I didn't even know nobody. So I never had a mentor. I just said, I want to do that.
That's so interesting that you mentioned that, because back in your days when you say you didn't have representation, you didn't have anybody that you can see, touch, taste, smell, and say, oh, they're doing this, I want to do this. Nowadays, we have massive representation.
Ooh, whole lot.
We have a lot of representation, and yet there are still people who are not changing their lives, who are not making new choices, who are not, and so it goes back to, why am I repeating these behaviors? Why am I repeating these actions? Because it's not because you don't know. It's not because you can't. It's not because you aren't aware. It is because you are repeating the same actions over and over again. And you really got to get to the nitty gritty and ask yourself, why am I doing this? Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, because you can look at a gangster, someone who makes a living because he feels or she feels that the only way they can make a living is doing scamming and corruption and ill-gotten gains. There are people who are convinced, even though and they ought to know that they don't know anybody who is doing that on their level, who's lived happily ever after. There's no one on the lower level of doing scams that you can look up to and say, I want to be like that person because they're the king of scams. Right. Because if you know they're the king of scams, and the government knows the king of scams, and as soon as somebody else knows you're scamming, then the word is out and no secrets. Right. Then the
it's only a matter of time.
The undercover people know that. Never.
But the alphabet boys show up.
Yeah, that's right. They show up. So that right there, when you look at the end result, I don't know why you want to go down a dog alley when you know that it's going to be not good results. It's not going to end good. But a lot of people, rather than saying, okay, I want to do what's hard, and that's the other thing, me being king, I would say repetition and everything that appears to be hard only appears to be hard because at first glance, you've never done it before. Okay. And you have no experience. And the repetition factor has not taken place yet. But if whatever it is, whether you want to study chemistry, music, engineering, if you continue on the repetition, just repetition that baby, and then it becomes easy. But that has not been communicated well to the masses. especially growing up.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm talking about right now, there's some people who are probably just hearing this for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
They never understood it and they never thought about it.
I agree with that. And as you were speaking, something that came to mind was also we need more transparency and honesty. We have a lot more representation nowadays. Like back in your days, you didn't have a lot of representation. You just did it. It was within you.
I was a dreamer. Yeah.
We talked about that. What did we talk about? The drive. What were we talking about last Friday? And you found the book on it. We were at lunch and we were talking about what's in you. And you said Reverend Mary gave you a book.
Desire,
the power of desire. You had that desire.
Yes.
You were in tune with your desire,
yes.
right? You had it, you were aware. So you didn't have representation. Now we have representation. And in a way, what I'm about to say, I feel like I am giving people, like one part of me wants to say, you're giving them excuses. And the other part of me wants to say, well, you know what? Everybody is different. So what comes to mind is, now that we have more representation, we also don't have as many people being completely honest about it, about their journeys, about what it takes. Like the conversations we're having, we're not just like, oh, yes, we're successful. We have this, we have that, bling, bling. Look at us. You can do it too. Come give us your money. That's why transitions is so important, because we sit on here on Wednesdays and we talk about our journeys, how we got from here to there, how we go to the next level. It's a level of transparency and honesty so that we can have conversations like this and say, hey, hold on. If you want to be successful, you got to look at your habits. You have to look at what you're repeating. And I find that that's missing for a lot of people out there, because we're in the like show me world. Let me see what you have, that type of thing. Do you agree?
I agree 100%.
Yeah, on one hand, I'm like, it's sad, but it's not really sad because we are being the example and the people who are meant to discover us are discovering us,
Yes, it's in divine order.
Yeah.
The and what made me think about talking about repetition this morning, today, is because last night I was with the piano teacher Moses. And Moses have taught me just by ear how to play Moonlight and Sonata, and that's by Beethoven, for Elise. Without even reading the notes.
I know.
Even the Star Spangled Banner.
I heard you playing that the other day.
Yes, without even reading the notes. So a lot of people that are gifted, or people that can just pick up and hear, and then you learn how to play without reading the notes. A lot of people can do that. But I said I want to learn how to read the notes. Now that right there I think it requires more, because you have to be able to use both of your hands, look at the notes, and your mind's got to concentrate with your fingers and you're reading and transform it into music.
Okay.
Now that appears to be easy because if you have the notes, but learning the notes, I know like the notes in the right hand for playing the piano, there is a shortcut. Every line on the bar is every good boy does fine. So the bottom is a E, G, D, F. That's it. So you can, so you know it. So you see a note, if it's on that line, you know it's an E. If it's on that line, you know it's a G. If it's on the top of the line, then you know it's a D. And then on that very top one, it's an F. And then between the lines, the notes on the right hand, it's face, F-A-C-E.
He told you that? Moses told you that?
Long time ago, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I just know that. And most people, when they try to play piano, they use one hand, and they can just, but try to play them with two hands. Now, so on the right hand, it's face. And middle, the first note is F. Second one, space. These are spaces, not on the line, but spaces. That's F-A-C-E. So that's easy. Every good boy does fine, and face. Now, for the big one, the bottom, the left hand, people say they want to play with two hands, right? Oh my God. So I say, Moses, what is the acronym for the notes on the left hand? He says, you just got to memorize them. I said, hold on, wait a minute. There is no acronym? No. That's why most people don't do it. They just play with the right hand.
Oh, okay.
He says that's difficult to learn the notes. He said, you just got to know it. Okay. I said, hold on, wait a minute. You just got to know it? You just got to know it. How do you just go know it? He says through repetition.
Repetition. Talking about exercising your brain muscles.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
He told me this last night.
Oh.
He told me
You
this.
just learned all this.
Yeah, he told me this last.
Wow.
But the left
The
hand,
left
right?
hand, right? I don't know why my ears.
So I went home and I looked at the left hand. I came up with my own acronym.
Oh, good.
GBDFA.
Okay.
Going up.
Mm-hmm.
ACEG. That's the acronym.
Okay, you got it.
But that is now I will never forget that.
Mm-hmm.
So now I know the left, but my whole point is repetition.
And let me just share with the audience too, because as you're hearing Mr. Henderson share about his piano learning experiences, I want you to understand that he makes a shift, right? So he's here working long hours, and then all of a sudden Moses comes in the evening time, and
7
he
o'clock.
has to shift
Right.
from what he's been doing to put on a different hat, a different brain, to be able to devote energy to learning the piano. Now, it's challenging. It's hard. Let me tell y'all, when I was working from home, yeah, Moses, come on by. Now I'm back in the office. No, Moses. I can't. Give me a minute. My brain, it just don't I got a lot of stuff on my brain, on my mind. And so I'm sharing that because we need to understand where we are and what it's going to take. So there are different levels. There are different levels to you making the shift. It's not impossible, but if you continue to work at it and you identify, as Mr. Henderson said, hey, I taught myself my own acronym or my own way of remembering it, you can. And I really want to share that because some of you are maybe listening and I feel you saying, I've been this way for a long time, Hyacinth. Mr. Henderson, I hear what you're saying, but I have been this way for a long time. How do I start repeating new habits? What would you recommend? What would you suggest? What would you say for the people who are saying it sounds good? I'm enjoying this show, but child, you might not be talking to me because I just know I ain't ready for that.
Well, you remember now, you're trying to give you power to let you know there is nothing outside of you that's more powerful than what's inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
When I started talking about what's hard, Hyacinth and I was talking about what's hard. I was saying being 5 feet and turning into 7 feet, that's pretty hard, especially if you're 50, 60 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You know, lifting a car by yourself on top of the roof of the heart, by yourself. But making yourself not drink sodas, for 30 days. The only one who can stop you is you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to get the okay or the permission from anyone outside of yourself. So surely, if you want to control your own life, you have it. You are the king and the king and the queen within. So demonstrate your muscle. Tell your two selves, no, we're not going to drink pop. We're not going to drink sodas for 30 days.
And something that may help you with the soda example and any example in your life is you're going to have to change your environment. That's one thing you're going to have to understand. Any change you want to experience, you're going to have to change your environment. So with the soda example,
well, you
go
don't.
ahead.
Well, that helps.
Well, you have to give them actionable steps because you're like, it's hard. It ain't just stop it. Yeah, everybody would be doing that.
Well, that's like I say, that would be good if you can change your environment. That's when everything is perfect. Oftentimes, if you at work and everybody come in, they have sodas inside the refrigerator. You still could stay there, but to really use your power, you can have a soda right in front of you and you still drink your water.
Yeah, that takes levels. And so what I mean by change your environment is if you know that you drink 3 Pepsis a day, you drink soda. Some people drink a lot of sodas. You can start by what I mean by change your environment. It says next time you go to the grocery store, you order your groceries, do not order any soda.
Yes.
I'm not asking you to quit your job. You go to the office, they keep it stacked up
or
with
be
sodas
around
in
people
there.
that drink soda.
Right. So you don't, I mean, and there are levels to it, right? So if you know that as soon as you open the office refrigerator, they got every flavor soda pop in there. Now you want to bring your own beverages. You want to pack your teas, your waters, whatever it is that you're going to drink in place of soda so that when you go in, you don't even have to stand in front of the refrigerator. You go right to your office and you have your beverages. When you get thirsty, you have what you need. And so that's how you start to reprogram the mind and being repetition.
So I see what you're saying. Use anything that can help you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because if not, it's just like, I mean, the prisons and cemeteries are full of people who were told, don't do that or this is going to happen.
Well, and I'm glad you mentioned prisons because there are, I'll give you a perfect example. a friend of mine who has 2 life sentences plus 60.
Mm.
He says he said they should have really sentenced him to an insane asylum because he says
Mhm.
I think like 1,500 people inside the prison,
Mhm.
and he says that probably 95% of them
Mhm.
are doing anything constructive.
Mhm.
He
Mhm.
says they're just a group of them that read
Mhm.
and talk about current events and keep their minds. So I often send him books all the time,
Mhm.
reading. Now that environment is not the best, but I think on this journey to taking your power back, you really have to, in discovering the power within you, you really have to have a relationship with me, myself, and I.
Mhm.
And you really have to, and I think that a lot of people don't. I think a lot of people look on the outside for, you know, for excuse, for verification, for
Mhm.
validation. I think a lot of people do that, and I think that as soon as you start saying this is what I want to do, and I want to have a commitment, and you start doing, I've listened to a story this morning, and it was a lady who her weight was 350 pounds,
Mhm.
and she went to her brother's funeral, and he
Mhm.
died of heroin. He was a heroin addict.
Mhm.
And right then and there, when she looked and she loved her brother, he died of heroin addict. And she said, "Oh my God, it was an addiction." So something came to her mind and said,
She's addicted to food.
you're addicted to food."
Mhm.
She said right then and there, she
Mhm.
decided she
Mhm.
was going to change
Mhm.
her eating habits.
Mhm.
She didn't go to no therapist.
Mhm.
She didn't go to no weight loss clinic.
Mhm.
She didn't go to have no surgery.
Mhm.
She was 350 pounds.
Mhm.
In 11 and a half months,
Mhm.
she lost 200
Oh
pounds.
my goodness.
In 11 and a half, not even a year.
Wow.
She said she cut back on all the sugary, all of the fats, all of the flour. She said she would walk every day.
Mhm.
She said, and not really jogging, but walk every day, doing her little exercise all on her own. She
Mhm.
didn't join nobody. That is a demonstration of self power. I feel that when you have and you develop an intimate relationship with yourself like that, I think that that is where we all supposed to be.
Well, I can't say we're all supposed to be there.
Well, the only reason why I say
I
we
think
all
we all have that in us.
well, only reason why I say I think we all, I think that is the the zenith, the ultimate to be able to um, have more self control.
I agree.
So that's what I mean. I think, and I think you feel better because when you have that, and you don't really have to be weak toward outside influences. I think that it's very comforting,
Mhm.
and it's worth working on. It
Yes.
really is.
It takes work. It works if you work it. Remember
Yes,
they used to say that? They used
yes,
to say that?
yeah. It works if you work it,
Mhm.
but I think that is something um, extremely worthwhile. As if I was king, I'd want every student to demonstrate
Mm.
what have you used repetition on
Mhm.
as a result that you couldn't do something, now you can do it. And I
Mhm.
want you to write an essay, and I want you to even demonstrate
Mhm.
that something was hard, but you kept doing it over and
With
over,
repetition.
repetition,
Right.
and because like a lot of us do it unconsciously,
Mhm.
and we use it, um, and it's not really helping our lives because everything, all of us have habits.
Mhm.
So you could tell if your habit is yielding you good or if it's not yielding you. Just
Absolutely.
look at the results.
Look at your life. I agree. I agree. Look at the results. Look at the results. I think this was a good one. What time is it?
Um,
Oh, 1:50. 12:50.
1250. I think that so I know that everybody don't have. Natalie always tell me this. My wife, she always tell me, Robert, everybody can't do it, and I know. Um, I don't know if everybody can't do it. I know we do what we want to do. Do you agree, or you think that there's some people who just, even though God put it in us, but they can't do it?
No, no, no. I believe that everyone is capable. I also believe that for some people, our treasure, our gifts, our superpowers are further buried under stuff than others. And so for some people, they might be right there. You got to do just this work and I got it. Like the lady, she was able to go to her brother's funeral and say, oh, he has an addiction. Okay, I got it. What she needed to see, it was a little higher to the surface than other people. So I think we all can do whatever we want to do. We all can achieve the seemingly impossible. We absolutely can do it. And oftentimes all of us are at different places. And so that requires work. You got to do different work.
I'm reminded, I remember me growing up and I was probably 10, 11 years old. My mother, she was a smoker. And she used to send me to the corner store to get her cigarettes. And matter of fact, when I'd come back, she would tell me to go to the kitchen and light it on the stove. And I would take the cigarette back to her and she would smoke it in bed with a Pepsi and some peanuts. And that was the norm. I knew my mother was a smoker. One day, she wasn't a smoker. She just stopped smoking. I said, Mom, what happened? You don't smoke? She just said, I'm not going to smoke no more. I said, you didn't have to put a patch behind your ear or go to chewing gum or whatever. She says, no. She said, I just said, I'm not going to do that. When she said that, I said, that I bear witness to that.
Well, that's in alignment with her getting up in the middle of the night and leaving your daddy. The same thing, just nope, I'm not going to do this no more. Willpower, get up and move. Get up and stop it.
You're 100% true.
It's the same thing.
Her being able to say, no, I'm not going to take a beating no more. I'm leaving in the middle of the night. Y'all coming? I'm getting on that bus and I'm leaving out of here. That right there did have an effect on me because right then I knew that anytime you're in a place, whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship, wherever it is, when you realize that you really have a lot of power, not over someone else, but over yourself, then you can take control and you can make things happen. You can say, I'm going to be this. I'm going to work hard to do this. And if you dedicate it, then you really don't need a whole lot of motivation. I've never been motivated.
Well, you had a beautiful example right there in your home.
Oh yeah, to let me know.
Oh yes,
to let me know that I can leave.
Yeah, there's some people who they don't have that. So again, that's how I know you guys. You're part of each other's soul tribe. You spent many lives together because
who spent many lives?
You and Granny. You're in alignments in that regard. And so that's evidence that you are soul tribe members. And this is not your first time incarnating together in a human body. However, not everyone has that.
Well, you way out of my league now.
It's okay. Somebody out there picked up what I put down. Somebody did.
Retrograde. How was retrograde?
somebody out there picked up what I put down. Actually, we're getting ready to go into Mercury. Mercury's getting ready to go into retrograde on the 14th on Friday.
Wow. Now, what does that really mean?
Venus is in retrograde.
What does that really mean?
Retrograde just means you got to slow down, reflect, reevaluate. People like to tie this negative connotation towards a retrograde. Like, oh my God, the planet is spinning backwards and now everything is going to heck in a handbasket. That's not the case. And plus, it depends on what Mercury is in your entire chart, your birth chart. Do you know you have a birth chart? No, I need your time of birth. Do you think Granny knows what time you were born?
It was in Georgia. She don't know.
I know. Because she couldn't even remember hers. Right. I remember. Okay. Anyway, so the point is, you had an in-home example. I can see you looking at me like that. You are just really, good thing I got thick skin.
Yeah.
Good thing. But the point is, you had an example. You had a living example. Although she wasn't a blue collar or white collar. Which one is it? Blue collar is white collar. She wasn't a white collar worker. She wasn't a professional and things like that. But her characteristics,
her drive,
you were able to witness that. She demonstrated in other ways, and that is why I'm going to say that is a part of the reason why your drive is what it is. Not everyone has that, and I understand what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying. I also want to acknowledge the people who do need support, who do need therapy, who do need support groups, who do need, some hacks to say, let me change my environment. I'm not strong enough at this point to look at the soda and not drink the soda, so I'm going to pack my own lunch. Like, there are people who say that.
It's a whole industry.
Absolutely. And y'all are going to be okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it's an industry.
And
it's a whole industry.
Because we're at different levels.
Yeah, I mean, we deal with people who don't know.
We know.
I mean, so there's a whole industry that feed off that addiction, but repetition, back to repetition, you know, it's more powerful than we ever even talk about or even know.
So here's the work. Here's the work. I like to give them something to do. Here's the work. Make an assessment from Wednesday to Wednesday. Wednesday is ruled by Mercury. This is communication. Make an assessment from Wednesday to Wednesday. Track your habits, track your days. What are you doing at this time? Put a time next to it. And then after 7 days, look at your behaviors and your actions. What did you do? It's going to tell you a whole lot about yourself. What are you repeating? Are you saying that you want this result, but you consistently repeat this action? And so if you start to bring awareness into the picture, then it will help you strengthen your desire for incorporating repetition. Just like the lady who saw her dead brother from the heroin addiction. Once she physically in the 3D saw, oh my gosh, I'm aware that he has an addiction. I'm aware that I have an addiction. So awareness is also key. Track whatever you're doing, write it down, take a picture, monitor every single behavior, and then evaluate it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's some good work.
I can feel your energy. Like I can literally feel your energy.
I mean, I think that's some good work. I mean, I think that's some good work. You know, I know that obviously, if we take a look, there are a lot of people who, you know, we make it seem simple, or like I like to say, it's hard. And I just wanted to know. I just want you to come to Jesus moment and say, why is it hard? You know?
Yeah, I just don't want to.
There's a lot of good people that I know that are way overweight. They've tried everything.
They have not tried everything.
Well, they thought they think that they've tried everything.
Right. And the reason why I acknowledge the challenging, right? And when you hear the word hard, hear the word challenge, and then be reminded that if it doesn't challenge you, it's not going to change you.
I like that.
So when you hear hard, it's like, okay, yes, I can acknowledge that this is hard for me. I can acknowledge that this is challenging for me. I can acknowledge, because if you keep pretending that it ain't hard, and then you're like, oh, I get to it when I get to it, and you never get to it.
And when you say hard to me, you're saying within yourself.
Yeah, we only talking about self.
Nobody ain't stopping you. Ain't the policeman or the man, this man.
Nobody holding you down.
So it's really like the battle, and it's hard because you're battling yourself.
Well, everything is self. You got to talk to self first. You got to have that kumbaya moment with yourself. Like, this is hard. This is hard to me.
And see, so if I was king, that'd be another one of my studies, my curriculums.
Next
one would
life.
be repetition. One would be repetition, and then the other one would be
the key to yourself.
The key to yourself. Two selves. How to conquer that one self that's telling you to eat more, and one that's saying don't eat that much. How do you get a grip on them? You know, and just acknowledging them, because I think a lot of people haven't even acknowledged that there are two consciousness inside of us. You agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because that's not everyday conversation.
I agree.
So if it's not everyday conversation, it's not habit, you know, and it's not repetition that you talk to yourself and say, hey, no, don't do that. Push away, you know, do this. Another one says, no, do that. Another one says, hey, slap his face. And you go, yeah, good idea.
Put him in a headlock.
Yeah, put him in a headlock. Good idea, you know? Yeah, you know, and then you got to say, well, you know, that's not going to turn out well.
Right.
Somebody's got to say no. So those two selves, with those two thoughts that are inside of us, I don't think that obviously, most people are not really mastering them and taming them.
Okay, I'm glad that you said it that way. I thought you were going to say most people don't know they have it. I'm like, they do. They just ignore it.
Right.
So you're right. They're like, okay, shut up. No, they're not mastering.
Right. They're not mastering. And then those are the ones, so you say, why did you do that?
Right.
And you're like, you really should say it because the other me told me to do it.
Right.
But most people don't say that.
Yeah,
they just say, because I felt like
it.
They don't really tell the truth because I had a thought that says slap his face.
Right.
or I had a thought that says, you know, I'm just not going to show up. They was expecting you to come there and you just didn't show up. Why? Right. Because I had a thought. Who gave you that thought? Well, inside of me. Right. That's how I felt.
I always say, what's the thought after the thought? Right. So after you think about slapping somebody's face, what you think that person gonna do?
Yeah.
After you don't show up, what you think gonna happen?
Yeah.
Right. And you would be amazed at the amount of people who don't think about the thought after the thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thoughts after the thought.
Yeah.
Y'all take that with you.
Hey, Frankie Beverly and me, when I'm on my bike ride, it's a song that he calls After the Morning After. Mm-hmm. In other words, he was, you know, he knew this lady, they was friends, and it was, so he liked her and she liked him. And so he's basically saying, if we do this, we got to think about the next morning.
Okay.
How are we going to feel?
Right.
You know, that's what you're talking about. You know, not just now, but
right.
You
the thought after.
Thought say, okay, we do this now, but
What's next?
Yeah.
We just here?
Yeah. do like, I slapped his face.
Right.
I shouldn't have. Or I threw him in the pool.
Right.
I really shouldn't have. But do you not think about the consequences? So that would also be a curriculum.
When you're a king. Yes.
When I'm king, that will be. So one will be repetition.
Mm-hmm.
What will be in the other one subject, a semester of
your two selves.
Your two selves.
Mm-hmm.
And then another class would be
forward thinking.
Forward thinking, the thought after
the thought after the thought.
The morning after.
All right, Frankie, baby.
What is the consequences?
The thought after the thought.
Yeah, the thought after. What are the consequences of that thought?
Yeah. And for those of you who are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and listening, understand that we are saying this in a very lighthearted way, but you can literally shift the trajectory of your life when you start thinking about the thought after the thought. What's going to happen after I do this? What's going to happen?
That's some good stuff.
What's going to happen after I do this?
If I do this, what's going to happen?
If you start thinking about the thought after the thought, like if you do nothing else after today's show, if you just say the thought after the thought, write that down, and you start incorporating that in every decision that you make, everything that you do, you'll see a shift. Every
action has a consequence.
Yeah.
Every action that you do, everything that you say has a consequence. Should I say that?
Yeah. No, it's true. I always say people don't realize, like, oh, I'm free. It's free. You are definitely free. You are free to make your own choices. However, you are not free to escape the consequences and the reactions of the choices that you made. You're free. It's free will. Make the choices and then understand that it's something coming on the back end of that.
Oh, that's good stuff, Icy.
Yeah.
I like that. Man, we got to finish our book.
Yes, we do. Is this the year that we're going to finish it?
This is definitely.
Is this the quarter that we're going to finish it?
Definitely, because I'm like fired up. I've been thinking about it constantly, And so it's just something say, just do it. So get your chapters ready.
Yeah, I like to explain and give them something to,
We can do it. I mean, we probably got several.
I want to give them some takeaways.
Pretty sure we got several books
and stuff like that. Not just do this. And you know why I'm that way? Because I don't like people just talking at me. I don't like people and I definitely don't like people touching me. Like if you touch me, it's a problem. But anyway, like we
You give solutions. You'll be the solution girl.
Okay. All right. So stay tuned. This evening at 7 p.m., we are going to have The Rising Solution with Antonio Woodbury and Tavares Jones. Keep it locked and loaded on the Henderson Financial Group Facebook page. And on Saturday, and The Rising Saturday is ruled by the planet Saturn. We're going to kick off our programming at 8 a.m. with the Understanding Money Show. I will slide in at 9:30-ish.
She already know.
We already know. I should surprise you and come at 9:15.
You really should.
Not this week.
Can you do it? See that inside of you?
Not this week.
Other self say, nah. You said one thing, the other said, nah.
I said I should surprise you. I was considering it. But you got too excited. You like, nah.
Yeah, because I heard one of you
it won't be a surprise.
I heard one side of you say that, but I was waiting for the other side.
When you said you really should, you took away the element of surprise. I want you to be surprised.
Let me see if you can get here at 9:30 Saturday.
I mean, of course I can.
I know you can. I know you can, but one side said forget that. Obviously it wins. Like I get it a quarter till. I get it 10 minutes to 9.
I don't understand the problem.
I know it's not a problem. I'm just letting you. You just demonstrate. You telling people you'll be here 9:30.
I'm being honest and upfront.
Yeah, but you have good thoughts about being here at 9:30.
I don't.
But the other inside of you said, man, they gonna put a time on me. I'm coming. We coming when we get there. And that always win.
You know what?
That always win. That one. We'll see at 9:15 till 10 till 9.
I'm never late. I'm always right on time. Have you heard that?
That's what the other one said.
Oh, never late.
That other one said that.
I'm always right on time, and time is always divine. Time is always perfect and divine.
Sounds like a rap song.
It's always divine. I keep telling y'all I should have been a rapper. Maybe I'll do that in my second career. It'll be too late. All right, 9:30-ish. I will be on, and then at 10:15-ish. The Understanding Money Part 2 show will be on with Henderson, Mr. Robert Henderson Jr. and James T. Thomas. Keep it locked and loaded to the Henderson Financial Group. If you have not done so already, be sure to like our Facebook page at the Henderson Financial Group. And if you are ready to work with us one-on-one, give us a call, 305-825-1444. Thank you so much. Peace.